We are here to talk about episode 7 of Mighty Nein, Belonging. And this episode, how do I want to put this? It was a little disappointing, but I have reasons for it, and that isn't to say I didn't like it. Let me explain. Welcome back, everyone. We're here to talk about the Mighty Nein Season 1, Episode 7, Belonging. But before we get into this episode, first of all, spoilers in effect. I'm going to be talking about what happened in the episode. Second of all, I want to know, who is your favorite partnership in this group? Who are people you want to see buddy up together and go on an adventure? Because something that I really liked about episode 7, we'll start off with a positive, is that it kind of changes up our duos for who is usually working together, and I really loved that. That was something that I thought was really fun about this episode. So why was this episode a bit disappointing to me? Well, I guess it's just because I feel like Mighty Nein has been such an exciting campaign up to this point in terms of the animated series and everything it's going through with our characters and learning more about them and the way they come together and how they interact with each other. There's a lot there that I find that is unique and fascinating and interesting and just stuff that you don't normally see in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. However, this was pacing-wise a very typical episode for me because we did the thing we always do in D&D campaigns at some point. We get to a bit of an impasse where the parties split in terms of what they want to do, how they want to approach a situation, just what their goals are. And as a result of that, everyone decided, I guess we're done journeying together and we're going to go do our separate thing. Now, of course, knowing what I know about Dungeons and Dragons, that's never permanent. This is your party. This is your campaign. These are the people you chose to sit down with at the table and play the game with. So y'all better come back around because I need to know how the story ends. And that is what ends up happening. So as soon as they said, I think maybe we've journeyed together enough, time for us to all go do our own thing, I just knew, okay, so this is the episode where everyone's going to go do their own thing, and then we come back together in the end, stronger than ever, ready for the final fight, because this is the penultimate episode, so we have one episode left, our finale, and I was thinking that this might be the episode where we'd get some Yasha, but no Yasha, so I shed a tear for my muscle mommy, who I didn't get to see in this episode, who isn't really here, but I'm sure she's coming in the finale. And some of you were talking about this in the comments on my last episode review, where it might be more the finale is when she'll come in. So clearly those of you that were guessing that were correct, and I gotta wait, but it's worth the wait. And what I do love about the episode, even though it's a little bit more typical in terms of the pacing and how that connects with just campaigns in general, how they kind of work out, something that I liked about it is that it is building towards that big finale, and I can get that sense. It's everyone kind of tying up these loose ends and finding what they need to focus on individually and realizing that all of our interests kind of do align, all of our goals do align, and maybe what we need to do is we need to fight back as a group, and we need to make a change for the good, and we need to be the heroes of the story, as is our role as players and as characters in the Mighty Nein. I'm not really sure what the finale will do because I haven't listened to the campaign. I am going to start listening, so if you want to hear my thoughts on it, please do come back, because once this show is done, I'm going to be going through and checking that out, and I think I'm going to do videos on it. It's obviously a lot of content. I did the math, and if each episode is around 3.5 hours, it's over 87 hours of listening, watching that I will be doing. Let me know how you would like me to break that up for reviews if you are here for that. I think for our first video, I'm just going to give you a little reaction to the first session and tell you kind of my thoughts on that one. So to come back for that. But I am not familiar with the campaign other than, like I said, I've gone back with Vox Machina and I've watched some of that campaign, and with the Mighty Nein, I've gone back and watched some clips of things that happened to see, from table to screen, what shifted, what changed, and what the inspiration was for those moments in the show. But otherwise, I don't know where season 1 ends in terms of the campaign. So it feels like we're building towards the end of the first arc, but I could be totally wrong because the first arc I think it's 25 episodes. So that's a lot. That's a lot. If that was all of season 1, they integrated probably a lot of things, and there's probably little moments that got cut, for time. That being said, I think that we are building towards something pretty big. I don't know if it's end of arc stuff or if it's like mid arc shift, but I'm curious to see what it is. And I think it's going to be a pretty epic finale. And that is why, even though this episode is taking a little bit of time to go off our beaten path and explore a little bit of what each of these characters are going through individually, it is important to do because it's going to mean that our finale is going to have a lot of payoff. And I personally found when they came together in their last quest to be a really emotionally moving moment. And so I can only imagine what we have in store for the finale of this show. I think it's going to make me feel a lot of things. I also now see what everyone meant about Beau. We were talking about ships in the comments last time, and I was saying that I kind of ship Beau and Caleb, and everyone was kind of saying, I knew the Beau and Caleb shippers would come, and a lot of you felt that Beau and Caleb have more of like a sibling relationship, and now I see why. Beau is clearly into the ladies. She's gay. Maybe that's why I love her so much. That's probably part of it. I think she's also just such a, like I said, such a cool, bold character who has so much to learn and so much opportunity to grow, but is still such a strong person off the start. So I really do love her a lot, and I can't wait to see what else will happen with Beau's love life as we go through. I'm now feeling like, based on who she ends up with at the bar, that Yasha might end up being her type? Sounds steamy. I'm very into this. That being said, like I said, no Yasha yet, but I'm sure she will show up in the finale, and I'm very excited for her return and for us to actually get to know her a little bit more. She's such a mysterious character at this point in the show. That's part of the reason why I'm so excited to meet her. I'm also wondering if her showing up and the force that's kind of controlling her, how that will come together with everything. Will there be a new threat revealed? We do have a lot of threats on the board, it feels like. We have everything that's going on with Ford, which I think there's a lot already there. There's obviously Ickathon and the war that's happening and brewing. And Essek has basically just gone full villain in this episode, thrown his best friend under the bus there. And I don't think that he is going to be doing what he does for his people necessarily. I think now Essek has lost his mom. He has lost the thing that grounded him. And I think he's going to go full villain. I think he's going to betray his people. I don't know what his plan. I don't think he's happy with Ickathon though either. I think he's just pissed at the world. So it might end up being an absolute catastrophe that we didn't see coming. And then all of a sudden the mission might shift from Ickathon being the big bad to Essek being the big bad. I just feel like there's a twist coming. Is there a twist coming? Don't spoil it for me, but is there a twist coming? It feels like there is. And I'm very excited to see what that will be. I don't think it's going to be as clean cut as Mighty Nein versus Ickathon. Something else is brewing. I also really loved the mashup of characters in this episode, and that was something that I enjoyed about it. I like when people that we know as partners together go off and do their own things or, interact with characters that we haven't seen as much or you want to see more of. Obviously, I love Jester and Knot together. I just think they're so cute. I also can't wait for Knot to have like a big glow up moment. I feel like that's going to come where Knot's just going to be the cutest goblin at the ball or something. And I can't wait for that moment for both of these two friends that I just love how much they support each other and how their chaos fuels one another. And they're just these little chaos gremlins together. It's such a fun mashup. I also feel like Beau and Ford together is a really fun mashup too. So we got that happening. Caleb was obviously off doing his own thing. Molly was off doing his own thing. And I did love the confrontation that we see with Caleb with Caleb and his former lovers, and the fact that, you know, they come after him, but then they ultimately decide to let him go because now they're even, is the way that they see it. I'm wondering if there's a way that we can bring them over to the side of good, because I just want to keep the polycule alive. Can we keep it alive? This little triad, this little group of 3 that we have, it's so cute. I just want to save it. They all went through some crazy stuff together, man. I don't know if they're bad people. They're just working for a bad guy. Caleb was just a person that woke up and realized it. I'm not giving up on the polycule. Speaking of cute relationships, by the way, I did a little bit of looking into the voice actors and their stories, and I found out about how Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham are actually married in real life. And I had heard their story a while ago, but I think I just didn't realize exactly who they were at the time, at least not in relation to the Mighty Nein. Like, I knew they were Critical Role, but like the characters of Jester and Ford, I knew Laura Bailey was Jester, but I don't know if I knew Travis was Ford. So the fact that they're a real married couple, and then they have this romance blossoming in the campaign, and then I heard about some things that happened later, and it's spoilers, so I'm not going to say it here, but guys, I couldn't be happier. I'm so excited for where this goes. And I love how when Ford left Jester, he goes to give her a kiss, and he gives her a kiss on the cheek. I was like, this is too cute. I can't. The romance in this campaign is going to kill me. I'm going to be dead. It's too sweet. Gosh darn it. I love a good romance. I love good action, and I love good romance, and this campaign has both in spades. I like how I started this off by being like, this episode just was kind of meh, but now I'm just like, actually, everything about this campaign is great. And even though this episode's predictable, I still love it. I do still love it. And I'm very excited to see where we go into this finale. What do you think about sort of where we're headed? And what are, you know, some of your favorite ships so far? Or are there any ships that you want to see? What do you want to see in the finale? What do you think the twist will be? And if you already know, don't tell me. Or, you know, just mark it spoilers. If you guys are going to be talking about the campaign, please mark it in case anyone is down in the comments that's like me, that hasn't watched the Critical Role campaign yet. For those of us, this is new, so take pity on us, please. But also, I love discussing all of this with you in the comments. It has been such an absolute delight and an absolute treat. And, you know, when I started this channel, I never imagined that I would get to be celebrating my love of Dungeons and Dragons through Critical Role and find my community. And the fact that, like, I think I said this in the last video, so you can cut this if you want, my lovely editor, Uptown Duck, hello. It's just really great. There is a nerd in me that has been here my whole life that can't believe that this is my job. So thank you for helping it to be my job. And it means a lot. And thank you for all the engagement and all of the comments and the likes and the shares and the hypes and just all of the kindness that you guys have been showing me. It is, I feel like I'm home. I feel like I'm home. So thank you. That's all I have to say. I'll see you guys in the next video. And until then, stay nerdy, everyone. I can't wait. The finale, it's going to be crazy. Also, if you've missed any of my other videos on the Mighty Nein, you can check that out here. I wanted to wear one of my D&D shirts today. I have a few of them, but it's very cold. So instead, we got board games.